I'm running away from my past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, can I stay here for the night? I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. No blind, out of sight and out of mind. No when you keep running, but your legs are standing still. It's like you're stuck in a nightmare, but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest Elite FPL stream with myself, Steve. Yeah, it is a solo one. I have said that I wasn't ever going to do a solo stream this season, but due to unforeseen circumstances, one of my favourite sentences this season, it seems. I was informed by Jason only about an hour ago now that he couldn't do tonight's show. And normally Jason gives me amp time to say that he won't be streaming, but in this case it was, like, in my opinion, too short notice. So I just thought, fuck it, can't be doing that. Just thought, to hell with it, I'll just do a quick stream chatting about absolute twaddle, quite literally absolute twaddle. Today's an interesting game from my point of view, not from a football perspective because I couldn't give a shit about it. Just going into central London for the first time in about 6 months. And I went to Camden the other day to watch Mr. Reed. Yeah, I went to Camden to watch Mr. Reed. I went to Camden the other day, and it was the first time genuinely I'd been on a tube for, I reckon it must have been a minimum of 6 months, if not longer. And I forgot how much I just detest being on. How I come to a conclusion how I just do not miss using public transport in London, and the whole looking around me and just this, everybody's got WhatsApp Tourette's. The WhatsApp Tourette's and the Instagram doom scrolling just fascinates me. These I gotta keep doing it. These dead eyes, this bright beam in their faces, just scrolling through. Fucking fascinates me. And then you got the old, like I said, the people with the WhatsApp Tourette's, where it's just send, send, right, next person, send, get into the group chat, send, oh, they've replied, send, just having to look up and seeing these people. They're not even people, they're just zombies. And then, of course, today when I went down to London, this is how much of a loser I am. So I went into London and essentially I typed it on my phone, ironically, because it didn't work on my laptop. You couldn't make it up, could you? I normally, when I do things like this, I want to go on my laptop and do basic research, but for whatever reason, Google Maps wasn't properly working. So I typed in on Google, good old Google, CEX locations in London. You know, what a life I live. And all I want to do is find four things in fact. So Game of Thrones Series 8, which seems to be the rarest box set to ever find. The films Road Trip, Welcome to the Jungle, and the film Loser, which is quite apt for someone like myself or anybody watching this. Oh, can't be saying that, Steve-o. Can't be saying that. And I found 3 of them. You'll be brilliantly pleased to know. You'll be loving the fact that I found 3 of the 4. Can you guess which one? Not that I'm going to be reading the chat, but can you guess which of the 4 of Game of Thrones Series 8, Road Trip, Loser, and Welcome to the Jungle I didn't find? That's right, it was Loser. Seems to be a very, very rare film to be found. I can already hear someone typing frantically because they got the Tourette's on the chat. Just go on Amazon? eBay? Nah, rather go in CEX. Anyway, the point being is that I typed in on CEX locations in London, and there's none near me. The nearest one to me is Shepherd's Bush. The shopping the shopping complex opposite the station. I thought, I don't want to be injected with heroin. Oh, can't be saying that. So I thought I'd just go up the road instead to Hammersmith, my old borough. What? Fucking hell. I love the fact that I'm just taking the piss. So went to the Hammersmith CEX and go in there. Oh, I don't believe it. They've actually got Game of Thrones Series 8. I on Blu-ray, 22 quid. Looks basically brand new. I'm thinking, I can't look a gift horse in the mouth. I've got to buy this, obviously, because I'm not going to go to another CEX. But like I said, I've been to quite a lot of CEXs, and none of them have Game of Thrones Series 8. So I just purchased that. Saw that they had Welcome to the Jungle and Road Trip, which is great. Bought them, and then immediately I'm greeted with what can only be described as a homeless person. Excuse me, can you spare some change? I said no, because my change needs to be spent on DVDs and films from 2003. That's more important, mate. Clear off. I didn't say that bit. I just said no. He stank of shit, and his breath was so overpowering with the smell of shit that I wanted to be sick. So I basically just said aloud, what the fuck is going on with this city? Unfortunately, even in the borough that I live in, forget the borough, the small little suburban town that I live in, it's essentially a village with it's essentially a high street full of hairdressers and vape shops. And that is just full of beggars. Or as Steve Merchant says, scum. Ooh. Can't be saying that, Steve. Andy and FPL Mate are on, by the way. You can watch that if you want. So, yeah, I got my DVDs. I got all that, and I realised when I was walking around Bayswater, again, it's just a glorified version of where I live. It's just a high street leading from Paddington, and just looking at the people and. I always find it funny whenever I walk around central London. You get two types of people. You get the ones that think they're gods or goddesses, that are dressed up to the nines, wearing clothing which is clearly, showing off their wealth. Or you've got the people that are just, again, this dead-eyed. Oh, God, I've got to go for another day. Another day in London, trying to cope with life. God, my life is just worthless, but I'm living in London. I mean, it's bad enough for me. It's just so funny seeing these people. Just, like I say, I'm one of the biggest losers you'll ever meet. But fuck me, I don't pretend. I actually openly admit that, yeah, I'm a loser. Yeah, I've got no life. My life pretty consists of me working 6 days a week. Not in January, because I've decided to have my days off as off. But I don't profess to be anything other than just a bloke that lives in a house in London that's miserable. Not quite depressed, but near enough. But actually do enjoy going to work. That's probably the only upside at the moment. In fact, when I was listening to Mind Pump today, I wonder when you were going to bring them up, Steve. When listening to Mind Pump today, when Adam was talking about the fact that some of the jobs that he's had in his past, he's genuinely just stayed there because of the simple fact that he has got such a great camaraderie with his work colleagues, and there's a community, as Mark Goldbridge says, around the people that he works with. There's no progression or anything. There's no career expansion. A bit like what I'm doing now, but I actually enjoy going to work because of the people. I genuinely mean that. I really get on with the people, and just dribbling at the various women that work there, and that's just the patience. Oh, can't be saying that, Steve-o. Oh. Gotta listen to the podcast for that. Oh. But I genuinely I do genuinely like working there. Yes, it has, like any job, its ups and downs and its annoyances. But overall, if I'm not even comparing it to Tesco's, but just as a job, it's the first job I've had. I've had what? In my whole life, since the age of 16. What's that? 22 years or so. In 22 years, I've had a chefing job, and then retail in Sainsbury's, Iceland and Tesco. And I can honestly say, this is the first time where I've genuinely enjoyed going to work. Like I said, I can have a moan about certain things that happen at work, but overall, I genuinely do like going to work. And that's why I choose to work. I'd happily work, I say 7 days a week, but you know what I mean. I'd happily work give or take every day, to be honest with you, including Sundays, just to pass fucking time. But with my particular job / job role, it doesn't require anything for anybody to come in on a Sunday, unless you're legitimately doing the overtime, because there's only 2 vacancies or 2 spots on a Sunday in on my department, and even on the Saturday there's 2 spots. And yeah, but during the week, Monday to Friday, there's usually always overtime. And I like I said, I genuinely do like going in. The work itself is very easy. I don't find it particularly difficult. It's not exactly challenging. The only thing that's challenging is, ironically, doing the driving, especially when going to central London. And because of, like most people, it's usually due to the parking circumstances, and You know, the simple fact that our company, the NHS, if you want to call it a company, I don't know what you call it, but the industry I work in, they don't provide any payment for parking. So they just go, not my problem. That's down to you, or it's down to the people that you're taking. It's got nothing to do with us. Thanks for that. Okay. So yeah, there can be some frustrations when it comes to doing central London patient transport specifically, and finding parking that's free, which, like I state, doesn't actually exist, unfortunately, because anybody that's ever worked or lives in London will understand that anything in central London isn't free. Just turning down the wrong street accidentally can get you a fine. Just walking down the wrong street could get you a fine. So yeah, and what the fuck has this got to do with FPL, Steve? Do you know, I don't even know anymore. All I know is that the point I was trying to get out in a very, very, you know, what was that? Deduct the intro, 14 minutes of absolute twaddle, was me not knowing any of the results other than occasionally, ironically, looking at my phone on whoscored.com, because livescore.com is absolutely cack, to be completely frank. It's coming to the point now where I'm thinking maybe just uninstall the app, delete the app, and maybe get SofaScore, for instance, because LiveScore, it just, every time I go to load it up, it seems to take forever. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, the team up on screen is Jason's team. He's done brilliantly. He has done the last 2 game weeks. He has done absolutely fantastically. There's no beating around the bush here. Jason has done really, really well. I mean, today, he took a -4. One of the hits was to take out whomever for Fernandez. And Fernandez, of course, has come through. I wonder if he's getting bonus points. I'm just going to quit. This is literally me looking right now. And of course, he's getting bonus points. Despite being on the losing team, he's still getting 1 bonus point. Of course he is. But quite an extraordinary day of events where Jason did captain Chris Wood, coming through with a goal and assist. And I'm going to assume he's going to get 3 bonus points. And the answer is yes, he is going to get 3 bonus points. So Jason's had a stormer today. Scoreline wise, quite incredible. Obviously, me and Ray did that, well, in my opinion, and then some other people's opinions as well. A really enjoyable stream last night. We, of course, went through our predictions through today. Let's go through them, shall we? Ray went 1-0 to Everton. I went 1-1. It ends 3-2. Man United Brighton. I went 1-1. Ray went 1-1. Was it 1-1, Ray? I can't even remember. And it ended up being 3-1. Nottingham Forest, Southampton. I think I went 2-0. Ray went 3-0. It ends up being 3-2. And then Ipswich versus Man City. We both expected Ipswich to score, so we went 1-4. And it ends up being 6-0. The only thing that I can take away from that Man City game from an FPL point of view is the fact that Haaland got 1 measly goal. I'm amazed he's not in the bonus points. He got 1 goal. I'm extremely grateful, considering, as you can see, Jason has Haaland. And, well, he's all out. Other than Palmer, most of us have got Palmer. We're all expecting him to start. I'm not hoping he's. In fact, I'm hoping he's dying. Can't be saying that, Steve-o. I hope Palmer doesn't show up, but he will. And we all know what's going to happen. He's going to come through with an attack in return. The guy that I originally had captain, but the only reason why I took the captaincy off him because he was a doubt. But the manager did literally come out and state that nope. Him, Enzo, and a couple of others are doubts for Monday. So hopefully that comes through fruition and actually happens. But yeah, I'm really not wanting Palmer to come because I've got Watkins coming off the bench if he doesn't play, which would be very, 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 very fortuitous. But Jason here obviously was sells with just the one point there. No saves in that game whatsoever. A good defensive lineup there with Hall and Vardy, despite Hall conceding 4 goals, or Newcastle more specifically conceding 4 goals. He still came through with an assist, so we got 4 points for that. Vardy with a standard clean sheet. Rodgers, Salah and Ahmed all disappointing. Of course, as always, when a player the week before does really, really well, the following week when you expect them to do something, they don't do anything. And then the week that you don't expect them to do something, they come through with a hat-trick. I find FPL really bizarre. I'm finding it really weird this season that every single week when you're expecting a player to do well versus a poorer team, they do nothing, and then the following week they get a double-digit haul. Or the week that you don't expect them to do anything because they got a tough team, they come through with a double-digit haul. Hello, Awobi. And then the following week when they've got a decent fixture, they come through with 1 point. It seems to be a lot like that this season, and it's the usual suspects that are just continuously coming through, and I think Jason's team here sums up the usual suspects, and ironically that's his team. Well, it was his team name. He's now YouTube shadow banned, which is, well, very apt and accurate, to be honest with you. But the likes of Palmer always coming through, Salah always coming through, Fernandez, they've all got something in common, haven't they? They're talisman of their team. It's picking the talisman of particular teams, and Jason's got them all. He's got Fernandez, he's got Salah, he's got Palmer, he's got Chris Wood. He's got a more attractive Wood. Yeah? And he's got Haaland. The only downside to Jason's team, which could you argue is a downside, is the fact that because of Haaland, he can't afford the more expensive players. But why does he need them? What the fuck does he need Arsenal defenders for? They don't keep clean sheets. Why does he need Liverpool defenders? They don't do anything. Trent Alexander-Arnold occasionally will come through with a double-digit haul, but is it really worth 7.2, 7.3 million? Not really. Not really. And obviously, like I said, in Jason's team, he's got the double. He's got the Nottingham Forest defence as well, covered with cells. I mean, the other day, it's up in my book upstairs, but I writ down teams to be targeting, or more specifically, players from each team that that we should be targeting. And for Nottingham Forest, I just put Chris Wood and the defender/goalkeeper, because that's all you need. I mean, I was looking at Anya to be bringing in at some point. I mean, not as of yet, but Anya is someone certainly I'm looking at to bring in. I mean, this week, Mr. Reed again. He's This is quite a. It's not even an extraordinary tale. It's pretty boring, to be honest with you. But I'm going to talk about it anyway because it is revolved around FPL. That's all what we want to talk about. FPL. Can't talk about anything else but FPL. The Torby Elite League, Mr. Reed each week is panicking that he won't be top. He's going to end up losing points on the various people that are chasing him down, despite the fact he's got a 30-odd point lead ahead of the chasing pack. And this week he's waffling on about the fact that, do I take out Palmer? Do I keep him in my team? Do I captain Salah? Do I not captain Salah? And he was going to captain Salah, and then because he was doing a voice message to me, he forgot to change the captaincy from Chris Wood to Salah. Because ironically, he was voice messaging me, he forgot to take the captaincy off Chris Wood and put it on Salah. And look how that turned out. The word arsehole springs to mind. He's your friend, isn't he? He's 179k in the world. I don't. It's not updated yet, but as of last night, 179k. I said Chris Wood coming through his captaincy. Still got 3 points. Still got 6 points to add to that total. It's sickening. It's sickening. Robinson in there. Unfortunately for him, or fortunately for me, Alanga didn't play. This is his wildcard team as well. This is wildcard team. Pickford in goal. So there he is for the double game week, like I advised him to do. I'm sure I did. I can't remember now. Anya, brilliant, coming through with an assist. Gabriel, Robinson, Saliba. Ironically, he benched Saliba. So in real life, he was benched / injured. And for Mr. Reed, he benched him. Lewis Hall there. Alanga, Ahmad, Salah, Palmer and Burmo. Isaac, Wood and Gakpo on the bench. These are the players that I'm having to put up against when they have the balls to bench Gakpo. He had the balls to bench Gakpo. And it turns out all right. Because he only got 2 points. It's extraordinary. Or as Basil Fawlty says, fascinating. Marvellous. Yeah, people like me, idiots like me, don't even bother listening to people like Ray, because why would I? Look into the history and the current stats, not even stats, the current goals conceded and whatnot, and yet I'm doing shit. It's a shit com. Oh, we've established that then. It's a shit com. That's what it's like this season. A shit com. Yeah, but the thing is, Steve-o, though, the ratings are going or in this case, the ratings are going down, subscribers are going down. Why are you quitting the show, Steve-o? Because I just don't want to be streaming to morons like, no. Oh. And there they are wearing shirts that are saying 1-0, 2-0, and they're like, fucking hell. I'm looking forward to covering that actually on with Shane at some point. I get a message from Shane, aka FPL veteran, once a week. Steve, I will be available to record with you at some point. Can't or won't. I'll go cook us a sandwich, Shane. You pug. Cook. Cock. Someone's probably out right now walking listening to this. I've got some advice for you. Turn it off. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm looking forward to covering the extras Christmas edition with Shane at some point. That'll probably be released in Christmas 2025. No, in fact, fuck that. 2026, the way it's going at the moment. He's also wanting to do some podcasts around the fitness space. I actually recorded, funny enough, a very... a review of the Getting There podcast from Brogan Gallant-Smith and her interview with Bonnie Blue, and I did listen to it and I've done my review for it, and spoiler alert, but I just came away like, right, okay, that's fine. You're just a real life sex doll. That's basically what you are. You're a real life sex doll. That's what I just came away from it, to be honest with you. I was just like, was I proven right? No. Was I proven wrong? No. It was just, it's just what I kind of expected. but you just constantly saying, I'm happy. I like pleasuring men. I'm happy. Can you say anything else other than you're happy and you're pleasuring men? No, I'm just happy and pleasuring men. Bored already. The host was, again, spoiler alert. Sorry for anybody that even bothers listening into the Tin Pot podcast that is toasty. The host, very good, very hard, straight to the point. The kind of woman. A woman? She's got a boyfriend though. So even if there was any form of possibility, it won't happen. She's got a boyfriend. In all seriousness, she's very straight to the point. Just think of Mrs. Plonker, Aaron's wife. She's clearly from Essex. Very upfront in the questions that she was asking. Thier, her real name. She had a very, 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 very strong brick wall, a very strong defensive wall when answering the questions. And essentially it was just constant responsive of, I'm just happy. Right. Yeah. But if you want to check it out, it's the Getting There podcast. It is available on Spotify and YouTube, of course. Like I say, every podcast has got to be on video these days. Got to be on video. Got to be on YouTube. I think the only, well, there's going to be millions, but the only one that I know of in my own tiny, wincy little circle would be Roberto's podcast, the Form is Temporary podcast. I think he's the only one that doesn't actually upload it to YouTube. So well done. Well done. As patronising as it sounds, well done. And it's one of those where sometimes, like I keep stating, that I appreciate the fact that podcasts have got to go with the times and they've got to be on YouTube, got to record it and upload it to YouTube, because then you get new audience members and everything. But sometimes the pleasure of podcasts is the fact that it's audio only, and as Harbour Boy made the point, like, it's just nice not even really knowing what these people look like. To be honest, you don't need to know what these people look like. But I get it, you know, you gotta get with the times. When are you gonna put your Tin Pot podcast on the YouTube then? I won't be. But yeah, it was an interesting chat essentially to myself. This was about an hour long. An hour. Sorry, scrap that. There's 2 minutes of music each end. Chunk no Captain Chunk. I bet you can't wait for that. A bit of what would you call it? Emo crabcore. Crabcore. What? Basically, when the guitarists mosh to the breakdowns, they look like they're crabs. It's quite simple, really. Look it up. Go on the internet. Go on YouTube. Just type in crabcore. More specifically, type in attack, stickly stick, or stickly. Great song, and you'll see the crabcore dancing. But yeah, what I wanted to do. Oh, great, we're going to talk about football, aren't we? Yeah, because I want to look at this. Actually, fuck that. What I wanted to quickly do is look at the Super Cup. I'm just gonna basically. I don't know. I'm gonna look at the match results because we'll be here for fucking ever. I'm just gonna go through who the top 8 are as it stands right now. After so far, it's not even the halfway stage. It's literally the start. So the Super Cup started in Gameweek 21. A big thank you to Firetog creating this competition. And basically, he has divided it in a way in which there are 32 teams per league, I believe it is. There's 2 leagues, and very similar to the Champions League, each team will have 10 matches, all randomly selected. And basically, you go up against your opponent in a head-to-head match. And then the top 8 per league will be then going through until the knockout rounds. So as it stands right now, in League A, Denver, the best. So the best may be doing absolutely shite. I mean, in fact, Sai is doing worse than me. So someone that's doing really bad this season could actually come away with... is there a trophy this year, Firetog? Do you want me to buy one for $4.99? I know where Sai lives, so I could just literally give it to him by hand. Get a picture. Yeah, Denver the best. Podner. That can't be Show Me the Mane. That can't be. But Mane, Kazali, Andrew Ferguson, Jones Bloke, and funny enough, Firetog. They're all in the top 8 as it stands right now. In fact, the leader, Denver, to put in perspective, the leader, Denver, in the last 2 fit matches has got a total of 158 points, whereas Clickus has got 119 and he's 9th, just to give you an idea of the points totals. But then we've got Buffy in League B. He's got a total of 169 points. Now, points don't really matter specifically as I can attest to looking at someone called Danny here, because Danny, despite the fact having 131 points across the last 2 fixtures, he's not even in the top 8. And in fact, Matty Winalot, who's only had 118, or the Don, who's had 102, has got less than Danny, John Magic, Harry Dawson, Eastside, Vishwa. And yet he's in the top 8. Because he's won both his matches. Or so far he's won both his matches. So we've got Buffy, PM, Mo, Booner's there, Bilal, One Life Soccer, Matty Winalot and the Don. They're in the top 8 as it stands right this second. Let's call out for a laugh. That's what we're here to do. Take the piss out of people. So the teams that are bottom at the moment have lost both matches with a total score so far. So Stocksnet is on 84 points across the last two game weeks with still a match to go. And then this is Jack, isn't it? 8 Sausage Sunday, who's Jack, has also got 89 points. In fact, Harbour Boy's right down there as well with 95. And Blonde, 2 players that are doing really, really well this season. In fact, literally... No? Sorry, I thought I clicked something then, something had changed. It hasn't. So yeah, 2 teams in Blonde and Harbour Boy that are doing really well this season. So far, last couple of game weeks, haven't done so well. Hypocrite warning. Where am I? I can't even see my name. Oh, there I am there. I across 2 game weeks, I've accumulated 131 points so far. And FPL Bailey, a big shout out to FPL Bailey. The last time I checked on Super Brew, he was 11th. The last night he was 19th. He's now moved up to 11th, or he was 11th in the Super Brew. 11th out of 72,000 people. Bailey is 11th. That is extraordinary. And hopefully when he wins, he'll get an email from Super Brew. Do you want to thank anybody? Yes, I thank Elite FPL. Thanks to the history. Fuck off. Yeah, like the history's going to be helping in any of that way whatsoever. You know, I just wanted to quickly look at the fuck me. I've got WhatsApp Tourette's there. Or is this more of a stutter, Steve, I would say. I was thinking about this today. I was thinking, is it really at the point now where we're just going to target the bottom teams? Southampton's last 7 matches in all competitions. 0-0 with Fulham. They lose 1-0 to West Ham. These are all losses. 2-1 against Crystal Palace. 5-0 against Brentford. They beat Swansea 3-0. And they lose 3-1 to Man United, albeit we all know what happened there. They then concede another 3 goals. Who have they got next? Newcastle. So Newcastle are coming down to St Mary's. So maybe Isaac Gordon could be the captaincy choices. But this season is just absolutely fucking atrocious. They won a game in the League Cup where they beat Cardiff 5-3. They went through on penalties against Everton. So that's not even a win. That's a draw. They beat Stoke 3-2 in the League Cup. They beat Everton 1-0. And they beat Swansea 3-0. That's 4 wins all season. 3 of them. No, sorry, 2 of them coming in the Cup. The League Cup. And 1 of them in the FA Cup. Absolutely abysmal. Look at this. There's loads of 3s here involving Southampton. Losing 3-1 to Brentford. 3-0 to Man United. 3-1 to Bournemouth. 3-1 to Arsenal. 3-2 to Liverpool. 3s everywhere. So what, Newcastle to win 3-1, 3-0, 3-2. We have got to get past them in the FA Cup. Let me look at Leicester. Another shower of absolute shite. Let's have a look at them, shall we? All season they've won in the Premier League 3 matches. 3 matches all season in the Premier League. What a miserable, miserable season these have. And again, a lot of the wins, or more specifically, a lot of... Yeah. They get a draw against Walsall 0-0, but they go through on penalties. They beat Tranmere 4-0. In the Premier League, they beat Bournemouth 1-0. Then against Southampton 3-2. And they beat West Ham 3-1. All it is two. It's just the 2s when it comes to Leicester. 2-0 Fulham. 2-0 Crystal Palace. 2-1 Aston Villa. 2-0 Manchester City. All the 2s. Who have they got next? Tottenham away. Solanke's going to have that. Oh. Not playing. Tottenham are 100% going to be winning. Oh, I say that. I think if Tottenham do not beat Leicester, which they will, but if they do not beat Leicester, even if it's a draw, I think Ange Postecoglou is gone by that point. I think he's gone. Is he the right man for the job? Just listen to James from Planet FPL. I'm sure he'll do in fact, I know he'll do a podcast about them. But for me, it's a minimum of... No, in fact, fuck that. It has to be a win against Leicester. If not, what are you keeping him for? It's a project, Steve. Don't you understand? Look at it. 1 win in fact, 1 win in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. And that was in the FA Cup. Sorry, my apologies. That's Leicester. I apologise. Well, it still doesn't look good for Tottenham no matter what. 2 wins in their last 4, 6, 8 games. And they were in cup games. 1-0 against Liverpool. 3-0 against Tamworth, which was after extra time. Lose against Everton. Lose against Arsenal. Lose against Newcastle. Drew against Wolves. Lose against Nottingham Forest. Lose against Liverpool. Last time they actually had not even a decent result. 5-0 away at Southampton. They did beat Man United 4-3 in that absolute end-to-end game. I was down in Devon for that. I say for that as if I was watching it. I wasn't. I was just listening to the United stand with that game. 4-3. By all accounts, just end to end. Up next, they've got Hoffenheim. Then it's Leicester. Then it's Augsburg. And it's Brentford. And on to Ipswich. Ipswich, another team. Just target them. Just these teams, just target them. They're so... I say they're shit. I just mean in the sense of that every single week it just seems... I mean, I think Ipswich of all the teams, which I'm going to find out in 2 seconds, are probably the only team which actually look like they got a bit of fight about them, but they're still losing. Again, very, very, very similar to how we expected them to. It's like Ray said, that they're a team in which are very good defensively, apart from today, of course. Apart from today. And they don't concede that many, apart from today. Two goals against Brighton. This is when I'm going to be proven wrong now. 6-0 today. 2-0 against Brighton. They beat Bristol Rovers 3-0. Remember Charlie? Anybody remember him? They beat Chelsea 2-0. They lost to Arsenal 1-0. But look here, Arsenal, Newcastle 4-0. Beat Wolves 2-1. The games aren't, like I said, apart from the odd anomaly, they're not exactly high scoring games. There are some high scoring games there. Liverpool up next. That'll be Salah blanking, won't it? You just absolutely know it. Let's not fuck about here. Most people are going to be captain in Salah. Versus Ipswich is the logical move. Then they got Southampton. There's Coventry. And look at that horrific run. Aston Villa, Tottenham, Man United, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. The only way I see them getting the points is maybe something at Man United. What did Almiron come out and say? This is the worst Man United team in the history of Man United. That's their own manager saying that. That's their own manager saying that. Absolutely cretinous. And certainly, I mean, like I said, look, we can all joke and laugh about, well, I'm not joking and laughing, about targeting these promoted teams. I mean, Southampton is clearly the number one team to be targeting. That's about as obvious as a wet bag of shit in the face. So Isaac. Could Isaac be the one? Could Isaac be the one to captain next week? Because no one's got Spurs assets. We've got Liverpool assets. Because of course Liverpool will be the safety option. Following week after that. Like I state. Game week 24. Ipswich playing Southampton. Don't worry about that. Maybe Delap. Alex Vollo, if you're even bothering listening. Maybe Delap. And then Leicester. Away at Everton. Again. Calvert-Lewin for the double. Just swap in, swap out. Is it really that easy? Is it really that easy? I don't know. I really don't know. But we are getting into the thick end of the season now, obviously. And as me and Ray discussed last night, it's all about what kind of strategies and what kind of, thought processes we're all going to be putting together regarding our team strategy. I mean, my team next week, I mean, it'll be Watkins in for Do you know what? I don't even know. Probably Sarr. Probably Sarr or Palmer. I really don't know at the moment. I really don't know, because Sarr's at home to Brentford. Not the worst fixture in the world. Iwobi at home to Man United. Oh, that's 3 points. Ahmad away at Fulham. Maybe that could be the one, but I kind of want players playing on the evening fixture. But Fulham will be that. What's his face? Is it Marco Silva? Targeting 3 points there. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock next week. Why? Why do you have to be so bloody late at night? But next week, Sunday, what assets are we going to have? So, Crystal Palace assets. So you've got the likes of, if people are going to play Munoz, Sarr, Mateta. People have got Mateta in. Then got Brentford. You've got the likes of Mbermo there. Visser, if anybody owns him. Spurs, Leicester, no one owns anybody. Aston Villa versus West Ham. If you've got Watkins, you've got him, but no one really owns Aston. Rodgers, I suppose. And then Fulham, Man United, a lot of people own those assets. There's going to be teams like me. 3 players. Jason's got 4, Jason's got 4, I think. Maybe. A quick look here. No. He's got 2. Ahmad and Fernandez. He's got Rodgers. Yeah, next week is going to be really quite interesting. I mean, obviously tomorrow, like I state, it's going to be really interesting to see if Palmer does play. If he doesn't play, so my nearest rival in the moderator league, Harbour Boy, he will have João Pedro coming off the bench. Danny Boy, Mr. Bull, he's got Palmer captain. If he doesn't play, he's got Salah and Mikalenko coming off the bench, along with Nicholas Jackson, and that is it. So he's got Palmer and Jackson. And Jason has got Palmer and then João Pedro coming off the bench for him. So I think, like I said, a lot of people have obviously got Palmer. If tomorrow goes my way, I've pulled the wool out. I've pulled the wool over people's eyes here, knowing that Palmer. I've had a very, very fortuitous piece of luck. A very, very, very fortuitous piece of luck if Palmer doesn't play tomorrow. Even blonde Rodgers coming off the bench for Palmer. She's still got Jackson, so Jackson could do really well tomorrow. But interesting to see how Kuna does. Interesting to see how he does tomorrow. Again, a player in form up against a Chelsea team that don't really keep too many clean sheets. They do keep clean sheets. Well, I say that the last time they kept a clean sheet was away at Everton. 0-0. I generally do expect Wolves to score. I think there's a decent chance that they score. Now, admittedly, form wouldn't dictate that. As I look here right now. Didn't score against Newcastle. Didn't score against Nottingham Forest. They scored twice against Tottenham. They beat Man United 2-0. So I'm actually completely wrong. They do score goals. It's just the last 2 fixtures. They haven't, coincidentally conceding 3. I just had this feeling they're going to score. I think Chelsea win. They're not in the greatest of form at the moment, Chelsea. They're winning. Quite a few draws over the last few. 2 draws, 3 draws, 2 losses. I know Chelsea at home this season, not great. They don't lose many, but 1-4 drawn 4, lost 2. Scored 17, conceded 13. The only upside is that Wolves do concede lots of goals away from home, conceding 25. In the last 3 fixtures, they've only lost once. Only lost once. Away at Newcastle, but not many people beat Newcastle. So, yeah, but either way, look, we could be here all night predicting what Chelsea. Let's just start FPL Bailey. What's the score going to be? Write in the comments below. Write in the comments below. That'd be fun. That'd be brilliant, that. Great. Talking of leagues at the moment, let's just quickly look at the top of the YouTube chat league, and it is very tight between 2 individuals, Madeline Tudor and Joseph Robinson. Madeline at the moment of 2,700th in the world, 48 points this game week. Captain Salah, no Solanke, so it means, when your luck's in, your luck's in. Munoz coming off the bench, 6 points, and if Palmer doesn't play, then he has Rodgers coming off the bench with 1 point there. The rest of his team, look, when you're that high in the world, everybody seems to be coming through with points. Henderson, Trent, Robinson, Hall, Fernandez. It's just his strike force. João Pedro, Solanke and Isaac doing jack shit. And then Joseph Robinson, who's only a few points behind him. Again, 4,000th in the world, 32 points this week. Unfortunate with Mikalenkovic not getting his goal, but yeah, Dan Burn playing, getting 0 points. But Robinson in there, not many. In fact, Wood and Robinson, the only 2 returners in his team. So if Palmer doesn't play, João Pedro, and then the reality is then that's where the gaps are. 20 points between Jordan Brennan and Joseph, and then Cranin, Florin, 6. Then it gets tighter and tighter again. So it's really Joseph and Madeline battling out for first spot as it stands in game week 24, and everybody just playing catch up there. Anyhow, on that note, as ever, thanks for tuning in, watching into this Tin Pot channel. If you do enjoy the work that myself and Jason do, by all means, why not hit the subscribe button? Make sure you are hitting the like button if you have enjoyed the stream. What else is there to promote? If you want to join our Patreon for free, by all means, join the Patreon for free. If you want to support the channel and hear additional content, where basically it's just about you, the audience, where you just simply send in comments and I'll just answer them in audio format. What a gift to the world that is. Thanks for that. Yeah, you're more than happy to join there. Other than that, you can follow us on X for absolutely no reason at all. And anything else to promote, Ray? Ray's in here. Yeah. Anything else to promote? Nope, whatsoever. I believe Alf will be live tonight at 8 o'clock, so why not join Alf tonight? 8 o'clock on his channel, Alf PL, for laughs. All the laughs. Yeah, anyway, see you.